In my problem with silver video, I said that silver is AIDS, and if silver's AIDS, then global is literally cancer. Yes, it is
Literally cancer.
You heard me right. So in my problem with silver's video, I talked about a lot of the problems with silver, such as them not really knowing how to play the game too well, not really using teamwork, and just a whole lot of issues with silver. So you think the opposite of silver, which is pretty much global, would actually be really good, and it would be the opposite. Everyone would know what they were doing, everyone would have good teamwork, and then guess what else? Everyone would, just kind of get along, and it would be fun. No, it's literally not like that at all. It is, like I said in the beginning of this video, it is quite literal cancer, and it might actually be worse than silver. Yes, it might actually be worse than silver. So the biggest issue in Global Elite is obviously cheaters, and I'm not really going to go into the cheating issue too much because I have plenty of videos of cheaters in CSGO on my channel. I'm sure you don't really want to hear me talk about it anymore, so I'm just going to give a quick little rundown here. Every Global Elite game you get into, it normally just turns into hacker versus hacker. There's normally a hacker on your team, and there's normally a hacker on the other team. Normally what will happen is one guy will start cheating, and then the guy on your team will start cheating, and then we'll just pretty much come down to who has the best hacks. It literally doesn't come down to who's better. It doesn't come down to who has the better aim, who has the better game sense. No, it comes down to who has the better fucking hacks. It's honestly really, really sad. So other than the cheater, the second type of annoying player that you'll run into in Global Elite is the guy who's boosted. And there's a lot of boosting services out there that will rank you up, and a lot of these kids think, oh dude, I should totally be Global Elite because I'm totally good, even though they suck fucking balls. So what ends up happening is they'll end up getting boosted all the way up to Global, or they'll get their friends to boost them up to Global, or they'll possibly even cheat their way up to Global and then stop cheating once they get there because they're so good on their own. So what will end up happening is you'll end up playing with a lot of people who have the game sense of like a Gold Nova and the aim of like a Gold Nova. And it's very frustrating to play because it puts you at a huge disadvantage if the other team is actually Global Elite, because, you're pretty much playing a 4v5. I don't think anyone wants to play a 4v5, and this surprisingly happens a lot. I didn't think boosting was such an issue, but in the 3 or 4 matches I've played, it seemed like 3 of them out of the 4 had a guy who seemed to be boosted. He was literally aiming at the ground. He didn't have crosshair placement at all. He didn't really know any of the pop flashes. He really wasn't communicating well. He just seemed like he had the skill of someone that I play with in Gold Nova, and that's honestly ridiculous. I feel like people put way too much emphasis on rank, and that's why you have people boosting, because they care more about that shiny little emblem than they actually do about getting better at the game. And guys, if you're out there, just get better at the game. Just continue to play, continue to grind, and eventually you will get to Global Elite legitly. Unless you run into a bunch of cheaters, which is also very well possible. So you might not get to Global, but you'll definitely get better at the game. A lot of these guys, they just want to take shortcuts. They don't really want to actually have to work for it. And when they get there, they kind of get their shit kicked in and kind of realize, oh, maybe I'm not good enough to be Global Elite. And then they end up deranking, and then normally they'll cheat their way back up or boost their way back up to Global again, and the whole cycle repeats. And you see where I'm coming from? This is very irritating, especially if you're someone who worked your way up there legitly, because you're playing in 4v5s and you're losing, and you could possibly lose your Global because someone decided to boost their way up to Global so they could play with you. It's fucking AIDS, or no, I'm sorry, it's fucking cancer. The next type of player and the next problem that I run into in Global a lot seems to be the egos of players. A lot of these guys, once they reach Global, they are normally pretty good at the game if you legitimately reach Global. But some of these guys have a huge ass ego since they reach Global. They think like they're the best player ever. They think they're Shroud. They think they can run out and take all these ridiculous peaks and not really play as a team. And also when you try to, be like, dude, could you stop peeking and try to hold sight with us and help? They absolutely flip the fuck out. Some of these guys in Global are actually more toxic than the people in Silver. Yes, I didn't think that was possible, but somehow it is. Some of these people get so fucking heated about a video game. It is absolutely ridiculous. There's one thing of taking the game serious. Everyone is obviously taking the game serious if you're at this level of play, but screaming at your teammates for small little mistakes that really couldn't be helped, and flipping out on everyone and trying to claim that you're the best and that you can do no wrong is absolutely ridiculous. It's frustrating, and it doesn't help the team at all. If anything, it makes the team a whole lot worse. Does being global mean you're good? Does it mean you're above average? Yes, it does. But does it mean you're the best player in the world? No, it really doesn't. And that's the attitude a lot of these guys have. They think they're just so good that they don't really need to practice anymore. They don't need to take any advice from anyone because they're just so damn good. But a lot of these times, these guys will go out, they'll do a lot of stupid things. They'll play really, really retarded. They'll play it very, very puggy, which is, if you don't know, is a lot of just pop flashing and just throwing flashes out and trying to pretty much pull a Stewie 2K and fucking flash your way through a smoke and try to kill people. It's just very ridiculous way to play. It's not the way Counter-Strike was really meant to be played, and it ends up really losing you rounds, and eventually it ends up losing you games. It's really frustrating to play with people like this, and I feel like a lot of these players end up being at the higher ranks, and you know, it's not really fun to play with someone when they think they're the best, they think they can't take any criticism, and they really just flip out on you for any little small thing that you might have done. Like, even if you lit a guy for 70 and ended up dying, he's gonna be like, yo, why the fuck did you lose B-side? There's really no reasoning with these people. And the main problem with global is that ESEA is the way better option. If you worked your way all the way up to global elite, that means you're probably an above average player. And if you're an above average player, then you probably shouldn't be playing matchmaking anymore. When you want to start taking the game more serious, you should join a service like ESEA or Faceit or csgo, because there you can play with the official rules, you can play with 128-tick servers, you can actually join teams, you can play in leagues, which if you don't know is actually a whole nether level of Counter-Strike. Playing on a team is a lot of fun, and you actually, you know, do things as a team. You're not just playing with random people anymore, and then the level of competition gets way higher when you start playing against other teams who are actually planning out strategies and they're taking the game very seriously. It just doesn't make sense to even play Global Elite because you're playing 64-tick, you're probably playing with cheaters, and 3, it's just inferior in almost every single way. It just doesn't even make sense to play anymore. That's why me and my friends don't play it. We'll go play ESEA if we actually want to play something. It's sad because in games like Overwatch and League of Legends, you can go all the way up through the matchmaking system and not really run into too many problems. And if you reach the top, then there's a good possibility you could go pro, which is really interesting. But if you want to do it in CSGO, there's really no way to do that through matchmaking. If you want to join a pro team, then you're going to have to go through ESEA or csgo or Faceit or possibly even all 3. You're going to want to go work your way up through a team on there. And it would be really cool though if Valve actually fixed the matchmaking system and fixed the higher ranks such as like Global Elite, Supreme, LEM. Like, it would be cool if those were fixed and they actually meant something. It seems like now the higher ranks don't really mean much. It just means that you played a lot, and also it could possibly mean that you're probably cheating, and that's not really that awesome. I'm really envious of the League of Legends system where if you work your way all the way up, then you can become a fucking pro. That sounds really awesome. It always gives you something to work towards, and it makes the grind a lot better. But in CSGO, once you finally do reach global, you don't even really feel that accomplished anymore, because when you try to play, like I said, it's fucking cancer. Global Elite has a lot of problems. Getting Global Elite now in this game doesn't even really mean anything in my opinion. It's not even worth trying to get. The amount of stuff you're going to run into between like DMG and Global is going to be ridiculous. You're going to run into a lot of cheaters. You're going to run into a lot of bullshit. You're going to run into a lot of throwers. You're just going to run into a lot of stuff that doesn't make it worth it. Once you get to around DMG, you might as well just join ESEA, or you might as well join Faceit or csgo. It literally makes no sense to continue the grind because you're playing pretty much an inferior product at that point. And I don't think anyone who put that many hours into the game and is above average really wants to play an inferior product. And, you know, that's what matchmaking is. And it's sad to say that that's what it is, because it could be a great system. Playing for rank back when I was lower rank and back when I was originally starting the game was really fun. But as I got higher and higher in rank, I just realized that this system is really broken once you start getting to the top. And it's honestly sad to see, because I think everyone at one point wanted to be Global Elite. But once you get there, you realize, you know, it's not pretty much what you hyped it up to be in your mind. It kind of sucks balls. But yeah, guys, this is the problem that I have with Global Elite. I just think that there is a ton of problems that really need to be addressed, and I think the current version of Global Elite really is just unplayable. It's not even worth trying to play, and I think a lot of other Global Elites out there can agree. Also, if you're a Global Elite, feel free to put in the comments, do you actually like playing matchmaking? Because I highly doubt you do. But thank you guys for watching this video. As always, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. And if you did enjoy this video, how about you hit that like button? And if you dislike this video for some odd reason, how about you hit that dislike button? And if you are new, how about you subscribe? But yeah, guys, this has been the Chosen One Inc. And as always, peace out.